Okay, so I'm ready to start building my rooftop greenhouse, and I'm a little bit constrained as far as the dimensions here. The length, or the width rather, from wall to wall is about 3.1 meters, and the length from wall to wall, the other wall is right outside the camera, is 6.1 meters, and I didn't want to take up the entire area because I'm figuring that I'm going to need some room to go between the greenhouse and the wall on each side, at least to put up the covering and some whatever other problem goes wrong. So I made the frame 2.5 meters wide and 5 meters, a little bit more than 5 meters long, which gives me some wiggle room. I'm a little bit nervous that it won't be enough, but I guess we'll see. I made the frame out of 2x6s. I wanted to make them out of 2x4s, a little bit lighter, a little bit cheaper, but the 2x4s were kind of crooked that they had, and so I took the 2x6s, which are a little heavier, a little sturdier, and as opposed to greenhouses that are built kind of outside in the dirt and are stuck into the ground, this one is just sitting here. It will just be sitting here. I won't have any other support except anything to weigh it down, and so I guess it's a good idea that I got the heavier wood. I also have here 12 40-meter long 1-inch PVC tubes. I actually only needed 3. I calculated that I'll only need. I'm going to make a hoop house, which each half of the hoop will be connected on top with a joint. Each half should be about 3 meters, but they sold them in 4-meter increments, and I took the 4 meters. I'll cut it down to about 3 meters, and the additional meter I'll use as a spacer or a support between the hoops. So let's begin. Okay, so I first wanted to give a bit of an overview of the entire area, just to get a sense of what we're dealing with before any assembly has been done. And here it is, and now we're going to start putting things together. Alright, with a little bit of sawing and screwing and some elbow grease, we got up our first 2 hoops, and let me just show you what we did here. I've got a T-joint connecting each of the hoop halves, as well as connecting the PVC spacer piece or support piece on the top. I connected the pipes, the PVC hoops, with strappings on the bottom, and we've got a bracket keeping the corners in place of the frame. And the plan is to make 2 sets, or I should say 3 sets of 2 connecting hoops. So in other words, here we have 2 connecting hoops, we'll have another 2 hoops that are connected, and another 2, and then each set of 2 will be connected to the next one along the sides. In other words, these are connected on the top. The adjacent sets will be connected along the sides of the hoop. Alright, let's continue. And we have completed the frame, as you see here. And this is what I meant, maybe it wasn't so clear before, by connecting the 2 sets of hoops using a connector piece here, whatever I called it before, I don't remember. And so we did these 2 and these 2 on that side. Let's get a better view here. And I had some different options how to connect these pieces. I thought of different ways, but at the end I used these zip ties, drilled some holes into the PVC pipes, and measured the right lengths of the pieces, sawed them off, and drilled them in, tied them down. Gives a little bit more stability to the whole frame here. And the next step is to put together something at the entranceway here, some sort of doorway, and over here a frame that'll I'll have a window or something that I can let some air in and out, and that's the next step. And now I'm going to figure out how to do that. The hoop house is essentially completed except for the skin of the covering, so let's go in. So at the far end I made a window. I cut all this wood by hand, by the way, using a handsaw. Anyway, the window opens inward. I'll show you that in a second. Here's the window. It has a lock or a latch over here to keep it closed. And it opens inward, and the idea is to hook it up to the top for ventilation, for some air, for wind. And on this side is the door frame. And here's a different angle from the outside. I'm hoping to get a shade cloth to cover the ribs here, the hoops, the whole hoop house. And I'm still not sure whether that's the best idea for hydroponic growing, which I plan on doing because the winter will come, the rain will come, and the water will get in. The other option is, of course, to put a clear plastic on. The problem with that is that it'll get boiling hot inside. So we're going to live and learn. We're going to see trial and error, which is what this whole project has been about. Here we are again, the same position pretty much that we started in, but here we have a whole hoop house to show for it, again, except for the covering. And I wanted to talk, well, first of all, I just wanted to say, this did not take a day. I know I did kind of the video progressed a little from the morning to afternoon to evening now, late afternoon, but it took a couple of weeks probably, an hour here, an hour there. During most of the day the sun is ferocious. It comes down and it's impossible to work out here, which is basically the reason why I wanted a hoop house with a shade cloth. I also wanted to speak a little bit about the costs, and the whole thing I wanted to do pretty much on the cheap, and I was more or less successful. The wood, the PVC, all of the brackets, the hinges, the whole thing came to about 1,100 shekels, which is about $280. I can list, itemize everything. Maybe I'll do that in the description. Maybe not. So that's pretty much what we have here. I'm going to upload this video as is, and hopefully when I put up the shade cloth, I'll do another little video to show how that worked out, and what's needed to hold that together. So here it is.